Man, it's a really beautiful day. My question to you, though, about this day is, what are you doing today to be of service? What are you doing today to help people? It's probably a question that ain't many of you thinking about right now. So let's flip it. Let's take a shift real quick. I want to ask you, what do your relationships look like right now? I want to ask you, what do your relationships look like right now? You know, do people like to be around you, or do they leave when you come around? Are you bringing something of value to the table when you're hanging out with these friends and these family members? Or are you always trying to take from everyone and use them up? And then as soon as you have somebody say no to you, it's F you and all this and that, and you're cussing them out and you're talking about how bad they are you cutting them off? Man, they don't ever do nothing for me. Da, 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 da. Every time I need something, they don't never do nothing for me. It's probably because you're always trying to take. And you done took they last and they ain't got nothing else left to give. You done drained them out. Or are you, as soon as they say no, are you looking for the next person that's gonna do until somebody says yes? When was the last time that you did something for somebody without having to be asked? And the reason why I say you waiting to do it until you gotta be asked, the problem with that is that they know that you did it. And that you're doing it for validation and recognition, because now that they know that you did it, they got to tell you thank you. Now they owe you something. I'm talking about doing for people and they don't even know that you did for them. I'm talking about giving that homeless guy some money and not putting it on social media or trying to record it and say, hey, look, here's some money, let me bless you today. And then you're over here, you got the camera rolling and everything, and you're posting it on social media. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about giving without any type of validation in mind or any type of selfish motive behind it. And when I'm talking about selfish motive, you're not trying to hang it over anybody's head and say, look at everything that I did for you. You should love me. You should come hang out with me. You should do what I want you to do because of all this stuff that I do for you. No. We ain't trying to make nobody our slave here. When we're giving freely, whether or not you give it in return. So that's what you want to start asking yourself. Reflect over your days and ask yourself, what are your days characterized more? By what you can take or what you can give? And this is why people don't ask you to stay around, man. Because every time you come around, you always taking all the food. You come over here, you get like 15 to-go plates every time you show up to the family function and getting all the food that you can, but you ain't bring one single thing to the family function. You calling up people and you asking for a ride, but you ain't never got no gas money to put in. You're always asking people to do for you, but you can't never return the favor. You're not ever willing to return the favor. Or the one time that somebody does ask you for something, I ain't got it. Knowing dang well you got it. And then you expect people to give you their last so that they can help you. And the moment they tell you no, you mad at them. You got an attitude, you got a problem with them. But yet if they came to do the same thing to you, you wouldn't do it. Because you're so selfish and like, and guys, look, when I'm saying this, I'm not speaking from a moral, spiritual hilltop or anything like that. I used to be the same exact way. I used to always be a taker. Take. I used to dry people up, use them up, and then cast them to the side and move on to my next victim to see who has some more to take from. You see, the problem is when you live like that, though, is that people get dried up. If you're always taking water out the well and ain't never putting no more in, it's going to eventually dry up. And see, I couldn't figure out why people didn't want to fool with me. I couldn't figure out why I was always alone. It was because of the way I treated people. I treated people as a means to get what I wanted. All of my relationships were characterized what I could get from you, what I could take from you. I had a parasitic relationship with every single person that I dealt with. Are you a parasite? Because I used to be a parasite. If you're gonna sit here and constantly talk about woe is me, nobody wants to fool with me, nobody wants to hang out with me, I did so much for all these people, it's because you're giving from a selfish standpoint. You're giving from a place so that you can hang it over somebody's head and say, look at me, look how great I am, you should love me, you should come hang out with me. You got to stop that crap. When you give from the place of the heart. And the heart wants nothing in return other than to show you how much it loves. When you give from that place, and you give without looking for any recognition, any validation, anything in return, you'll start finding that fulfillment that you've been looking for. See, the reason why I laugh when I think about this, because when I was growing up, like I said, I used to be a taker, y'all. People would get stuff for me, especially my mom. She'd get stuff for me, and she'd get whatever it was that I was asking for. And then when I would get it, you know what? I always wanted more. And she used to always say, Kylie, you're never satisfied. You're never happy with what you get. And I used to feel bad about that, because I'm like, man, I should be. But see, what I didn't understand is that when you take and you take and you always take, it's only going to make you feel good for a little bit. That's why when you get the new car, well, it wears off after a bit. And when you get the new outfit or the new job or the money or whatnot, it wears off after a bit. The luster, the sparkle of it, the fulfillment, filling in that void in your heart, it only lasts for a temporary amount of time. And see, what the problem was is that I was not trying to contribute anything. That stuff that I wasn't trying to get, I wasn't trying to take that stuff and put it back into the stream of life and help someone. Now see, maybe if I was trying to take that and whatever it was that my mom was getting me, I was trying to take it and use it so that I could contribute to the stream of life and actually help someone and be of service, I would have found more fulfillment. I would have found that satisfaction that I was looking for. The true reward comes from being of service and helping people with no selfish motives whatsoever. If you're wondering why God ain't been blessing you with all the stuff that you've been asking for, it's because you're asking for that stuff from a selfish place. God ain't gonna bless you with all that money that you're asking for, because all you're trying to do is get the money and use it for you. You're not trying to get that money and build something to help people and to be of service. You're not trying to get that money to break that generational cycle of poverty and lack and to show your family what it's like to live in abundance. If you start trying to get these things that you're seeking to actually truly help people with no selfish motives tied to them, so that only we can benefit and we can grow and we can help others, then you'll start seeing those blessings rain in. The most successful relationships that we see in biology, there's multiple different types, but I talked about like a parasitic relationship. That's where you think about it. You think a parasite. What does a parasite do? Let's say you get a worm in your body, or an animal gets a worm. It takes all the nutrients up out of it. It is living off of it until it sucks you dry and there's nothing left to take. And that host that it's taking all that stuff from is just literally suffering and dying. Okay? That's a parasitic relationship. That's what I used to live my life by. I was trying to take. And then there's a mutual relationship. A mutual relationship is when both people contribute. Now, you may have seen this in the animal kingdom, where you see, like for instance, a good example is when you see the hippo or the rhinoceros, and they have that bird that chills on them, right? You know, and you're always like, man, that's kind of an interesting thing. You got that little bird hanging out with them and everything. They have a mutual relationship. They're both contributing. What's happening in that relationship is that that bird is able to get all the bugs and everything off of that rhino or that hippopotamus that the hippopotamus can't get. And then that bird gets protection. And sometimes even food from what's left over and different things like that. So it's a mutual relationship. You see, they're both contributing. That's what your relationship should be characterized. If you got somebody that's constantly taking from you, you got to cut them off. You got to set your boundary with them and say, hey, hold up. And the most important thing is for you. If you're just constantly taking and taking and you're not trying to contribute anything into life, you need to switch up your motives. And you need to really take a long, hard look in the mirror. Because I can tell you this, when I switched this up and I started contributing to life and I started trying to help people and do for people with unselfish motives, what started happening? When I called people on the phone, they started to answer. When I wanted to go out and catch a bite with somebody, they wanted to go get something to eat. People wanted to come hang out. People wanted to come do this and do that. But I had to shift how I treated people and how I viewed them. If I just viewed everyone as a come up, I'm doing it for the wrong place. But if I viewed everyone as saying, hey, I'm God's creation, you're God's creation, we're all great, we all have our gifts, we all have our own purpose, how can I help you? How can I help you today? Because that's what I want to do, is I want to help you today. If this video just touches one person and helps one person today, then I've done my purpose. I'm not out here looking for 1 million subscribers or 1 million views. That'd be great. That's a great plus, but that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I hope that I can empower someone and help someone to see a new light in their day that they didn't know was possible. So please, dig deep. Ask yourself, hey, what can I do to help someone? If you're not sure, what is your gift? Whatever that gift is, even if it is you just have a car and you could give somebody a ride somewhere, or you could go and volunteer somewhere, go and do that and start there. And you're going to start seeing that you're going to be able to find what your purpose is. Your purpose is rooted in how can you be of service. So always, always, always ask yourself, how can you be of service? And when you get that question answered, you'll find your purpose in life. Man, y'all have a great day. I really hope that I was able to help someone today. And look, just please tap in for more videos. Come on, follow along, y'all. I'm here to try and help y'all. That's what I'm doing this for. Have a great day.